오늘 행사는
We are mainly having this session in Korean, but we also have the English interpretation available. You can use the receiver.
presiding over in Korean, but simultaneous interpretation will be provided. Please use your receivers. Channel 2 is for English. Thank you very much for your cooperation. 고맙습니다. 그리고 저희 QR코드 안내 한 번 더 드리겠습니다. 이번 페스티벌은 친환경 행사를 지향하고 있고요. 오늘 QR로 등록하고 입장하셨을 텐데
We're pursuing a sustainable and eco-friendly event. I believe you've used the QR code for registration. Through the same QR, you can visit our mobile page where you can find the information of the companies who are exhibiting today and various hands-on programs. The QR code you are seeing on the screen will redirect you to where you can find the presentation materials. This is only available on site today. We try to minimize the paper printouts as we are hosting a smart event of a circular economy festival. Please refer to that information. Thank you.
네, 상생 라운지
Now, let us start the Korea Circular Economy Festival. Nice to meet you all. My name is Moon Sori, your MC today. This is hosted by the Ministry of Trade, Industry, and the Energy and co-organized by KITEC and the KIAF. Let me briefly walk you through the program today. In the morning, we will see innovative technologies in terms of a circular economy and the circular economy, and in the afternoon we switch the focus onto different areas of industry like metal. In the afternoon you will have some quiz show as well. We have a free gift for you. If you are the lucky person to get the free gift, you can collect your gift after 3:35. Through the quiz, I hope you have opportunities to get to know more about circular economy. And we are allocated 15 minutes each to each presenter. So if you want to have a Q&A session, please make sure to do the time management so that you can accommodate the questions, and our microphones are ready for your Q&A session. Despite your busy schedule, we would like to express our sincere gratitude for everyone who came here today. And we hope that today's event will serve as a meaningful starting point for the development of a circular economy business ecosystem. Now let us kick off the Korea Circular Economy Festival with the pitching session. Let me first introduce the first presenter.
So first presenter will be really anxious, being ready for the first presentation. The title for the first presentation is going to be the proposal for the stable operation of hydrogen charging stations. Please welcome Director Sung-sik Yoon of Samsung E&C. Welcome to the stage. So you have a 15 minutes for the presentation. It's all right. Good morning. I am Sung-sik Yoon, Managing Director of Samsung E&C. So we do business mainly for the hydrogen charging stations to secure the safety of hydrogen charging stations in Korea. So we are the dedicated hydrogen charging station company. So till now, we installed and repaired and managed around 200 hydrogen charging stations in the facilities. By doing so, we would like to overcome the defects and the potential, the hazard and the risk of hydrogen the facilities. Samsung E&C provides and is leading the hydrogen facilities. So we're very much future-oriented company. Since 1998, we have been supplying the chillant and the coolant for the hydrogen charging stations. And since 2022, early 2022, we have been supplying the chillants and the coolant for the hydrogen charging stations. Since there are not many hydrogen charging stations, and back then the infrastructure was not really equipped nationwide, so you see the heat exchanger of hydrogen compression addresses that, as you can read from the slide. So we have this heat exchanger of hydrogen compression. So for the hydrogen charging station, the range of temperature is 40 to 45 degrees Celsius, and the chiller works as the device that maintains the temperature. The soft chiller, the temperature is 20 degrees Celsius, and it enables the circulation of water. So for the oil compressors, that for the water inflow and the fluid going to that, you see that for that heat exchangers, there is some quality issue and installment issue. And there could be the potential sludges and impurities, and the high pressure accumulates and putting stress on that chiller. You see, when we supply in the beginning for the Haman, the hydrogen charging station, we were not able to address this issue because we did not have enough experiences. But now we're ready. And for the infrastructure of a hydrogen charging station, we are the #1 company that can provide a stable and quality services and the chillant. You can see here the compressor, the chiller, and the communication systems are installed by the installment companies, but because of some unknown reasons, the piping and the quality and the physical properties of those materials are not verified before installment. So we inform the companies of these facts, and we let them know how to improve this issue. And below dispatcher, there is a PCH, and in this, the heat exchange is made. So you see that heat is being exchanged. There are a lot of leaks. And when the hydrogen comes into the chiller, and the chiller sometimes may explode, and the piping may explode, and the silicone oil might leak from that. So for that, we have done the study to make the improvements. You see here, that's a silicone oil. It's very much combustible. Since the hydrogen has a high pressure, it goes into the chiller and the silicone oil comes out from that. You see, silicone oil is highly combustible, so even with a very small spark, it can make a really big fire. So you see here, when we go to repair the chiller during the warranty period, we detect the hydrogen leakage and the banter. Here you see it's minus the 40 degrees. So within that empty space, there could be the impurities that might go into. So this is for the nitrogen filtration and nitrogen blockage. And you see the hydrogen kept leaking from that. So 700 bar and 800 bar, the pressure is placed upon this piping, and the piping exploded. And you see these hydrogen facilities, and without checking the hydrogen vent, it's difficult to go ahead with the operation. And for this hydrogen, the charging station, we need to figure out the root cause and come up with the right solutions to ensure the safety and the quality of hydrogen facilities. We always let the government and the large companies know, but things have not gotten better. So that's why Samsung E&C came up with our own solution to provide the safe and the quality chilling for the companies. Thank you. Thank you very much. That was the first presentation. The proposal for the stable operation of a hydrogen charging station. That was Managing Director Sung-Sik Yoon of Samsung E&C. Before introducing the second speaker, I would like to make an announcement. Yes, probably many of you have scanned the QR code. If you like to have access to the presentation slides, you see the scan QR code on the screen. Please scan the QR code to download the presentation material. So it has been activated now. Please make sure to scan the QR code to download the material. Thank you.
고맙습니다.
We're happy to host you at this pitching session, and let me move on to the second presentation under the topic of reviving resources and cooling the planet by Mr. Park Young-jun, the CEO of EOMTech. Let's welcome him with a big round of applause. Good morning, everyone. My name is Park Young-jun of EOMTech. We want to recycle plastic waste, and we are the startup starting from that point. I came from Pohang City with the very first train. It was 37 degrees Celsius yesterday in Pohang. It was very, very hot. Have you been to greenhouse in this hot summer? It's almost 70 degrees Celsius. Not only human but plants can handle it. However, thanks to the technology we created, as you can see on the screen, called AgriCool, we can lower the temperature down to 30 degrees Celsius. We don't use water, we don't use electricity, we do not use AC to cool down inside the greenhouse. With our film, we can even freeze down to 40 degrees Celsius. And let me elaborate our technology from now on. As you're well aware, our world is getting hotter and hotter. Energy consumption, therefore, increases. To tackle these issues, we came up with this technology called ReadyCool. As a agriculture technology, we have a different application called AgriCool or SkyCool or AutoCool, depending on the purpose. AgriCool is for the agriculture. It's a film to help the agriculture. Let me first introduce that part. Due to climate change and climate crisis, rather, a lot of people have damages. In 2023, about 25 trillion won was damaged due to climate crisis. 43% yield drops in tropical regions in terms of their harvest, and they expect to have a hotter summer. Therefore, we need an urgent need for solutions. That's why we created an AgriCool film. It blocks the ultraviolet rate, and then also IR radiation buildup. As mentioned, if we use regular film, the inside greenhouse has a temperature all the way up to 70 degrees Celsius. And mostly we import these film, but with AgriCool, we can lower that temperature down to 28 degrees Celsius. If the temperature goes over 35 degrees Celsius, we can raise crops. And a few years ago, we had some price hike and surge of the Chinese cabbage. And let me elaborate a little more about the technology we developed. This is the advanced nanopolymer technology. Emissivity is almost triple compared to that of a competitors. That means that we can let the heat out and get the cool air in. Without air conditioning, we can still make ourselves cool. So it is possible because we try to take the heat out from the locations, and it is transparent. That means that it could be a great help for crop growing. If you want a very good insulation, you usually use a black material. However, our material is transparent, and this is pretty much the only commercialized film that is transparent to help to lower the temperature. In Africa, Malawi especially, we had a test. In Malawi, they have certain amount of rain, and their soil is pretty decent. It's good for productivity. However, they don't have a good agriculture. So for the first time, we tried to cultivate a Chinese cabbage in Malawi. All in all, they saw the 7 times bigger in productivity. Now they can do 3 rounds or 4 rounds of raising Chinese cabbage instead of doing once a year. With more details, you are now looking at the left side of the pictures, where they use a standard film for crop growing. On the right side, though, we use AgriCool. The Chinese cabbage are very healthy, and it's good as a product, and anybody wants to consume this cabbage as soon as they see them. So it's a significant difference. Also, we use a lot of pesticides because of insects, but we don't have to use pesticides in order to grow healthy Chinese cabbage. How? Because the certain spectrum of UV rays is what we pay attention to, and that we try to apply that technology onto the AgriCool. So insects cannot realize that there is a cabbage inside the greenhouse through the AgriCool. That's how we can grow better and healthier Chinese cabbage. In Korea, we also had a great achievement. You had this grapes called Shine Muscat. It's now very popular in Korea. It's a green grapes. Through our technology, we were able to harvest better and healthier Shine Muscat, and obviously that product has more values in price. Not only in agriculture, but buildings can apply our technology. RadiCool, so-called. If you live in a flat or a condominium, people use films on their window, and there's a 8 degrees Celsius difference between the regular film and our film. What does that mean? If you lower 8 degrees Celsius, that means that you can reduce 50% of your electricity consumption. Also, a lot of cars are tinted. And with RadiCool, we also did the testing. Eastman or 3M were the regular films available, but compared to them, we were able to lower almost 20 degrees Celsius compared to these competitors' products. Plastic waste upcycling is my next project. This is related to the circular economy, which is our topic today. For plastic recycling, we try to handle this process with our own technology. Among all the methods, we pay attention to slag after grinding. We created a slag filler, and we mix with waste plastics. It is called a Slastic. It is durable and very strong. It could be versatile for many applications. First is railroad sleepers. You often take trains. If you pay attention to railway, there are sleepers. If it's a wood sleepers, it's an issue of getting rotten. You need stronger and something that lasts longer. At the same time, in 2023 was the time that we banned any wood sleepers. So as a alternatives, Slastic is now introduced and applied to the Korail, and Czech Republic, Slovakia, and Vietnam are the destinations that we export them to. Korea is a powerhouse of shipbuilding, and we were under the government project, and the Hyundai heavy industry used to use panels that were made of wood. And annually, we used to import 250,000 panels, but along the way, we had a lot of issues. Like ants or any other insects were carried and transported through these imported panels. Then we also had to use a lot of strong pesticides. So to replace this wooden panel, we are now using Slastic, which is durable, resistant to salt water, and lightweighted. And this is an ideal for maritime environment. We are now commercializing by next year. For any construction, you need some mold. And some mold, they also use a lot of a wood panel. And here we also apply Slastic to different applications. So far, we are gathering attention from all over the world. Indonesia, Philippines, the US, African countries, Middle Eastern countries are paying attention to our technology. And we are now working on the negotiation with the global filmmakers to expand our dominance in the market. Let me briefly introduce my company called IOMTech. I am the material engineer, and I have an experience with global projects, and we do have a lot of researchers. Our goal is to apply various material engineering theory to the daily life. At the moment, in Africa, in the Middle East, and in Southeast Asia are the areas we are paying attention to, and we want to enter their market. Korea Africa Foundation was one example that we discussed to enter South Africa and Kenyan market. And I urge your interest and support for our project. If you have any questions, I can utilize my remaining 2 minutes to answer the question. Do you have any questions, any comments? More than welcome. How about tearing? Is it resistant for tearing? Well, you can feel it. We are not actually developing the film. We are coating and laminating that film. So polyethylene are coated and the PET film are used for automobiles. So a lot of mechanic characteristics are covered by the standard specifications of a film, but we are coating these films to block UV rays and then also a strong sunlight. And let me add a few more comments. Compared to the buildings, greenhouse use semi-transparent film, and that can block some sunlight, and so that way we try to reduce the heat stress for the plant, so somehow it looks foggy. Any other question? Maybe one more question I can accommodate. I think that's enough. Thank you very much. Oh, we have one more question. Thank you very much for presentation. Do you only deal with the B2B, or you plan to, or you are working on B2C? We're only doing B2B at the moment. In Incheon City, we have like a pilot project in like apartment complex, and we got a lot of order. So I guess that could be an opportunity of a B2C as a new business area. If you want any collaboration, you can Google our product on Naver or Naver Open Market. So please feel free to contact us. We are also looking for the business partner. We urge your interest and the support. It's cheaper and better. I'll say that. One more. It doesn't include any metal substance. A lot of imported films include a metal substance. It's really hard to modify that film, but because our film does not have any metal, it's good for recycling also. Thank you very much for your questions and comments and interest. Thank you. So I understand that you can also use this for even recycling. A lot of countries are suffering from a heat wave, so hopefully this company can contribute to the global crisis. That was Park Young-jun from Eomtech.
있습니다.
Let me invite the third speaker. The third speaker will be making the presentation on-demand camping experience solution based on a sharing economic model. The CEO, Sung-sik Jung of Campter, will make the presentation. Please welcome him with a big round of applause. Yes, let me begin my presentation. Good morning. Anyone can enjoy and create a new memory and experience with our on-demand camping solution, Campter. I am Jung Sung-sik, the CEO of Campter. You see, the domestic camping market is growing steadily. The number of campers have increased as well. However, despite this rapid growth, still only 50% of Korean adults enjoy camping. So around 10 million the Koreans feel the burden by the necessity of having to buy the camping gear if you like to enjoy the camping. Even if they purchase the camping gear, they only go to camping around 5 times per year. So we create this business model of making profit for those who own the camping gear, and that's called Campter. It's based on the shared economic model. So we have a partner who owns the camping gear, just like Uber and Airbnb. The P2P business model can be applied, And also, the sourcing can be made with these products and for the inbound travelers. And the B2G business model can also be realized with governments. So on-biz service-based utility platform. Chemter divides the journey into the 5 different steps from the exploration to review and reuse. So through the partnership that we have with the suppliers and the camping gear owners that we would like to provide and create this unforgettable camping experience. And we were chosen as the R&D, the stepping stone R&D. So we provide convenience in transactional flow and operation. So these are driven by the AI. And the carrot, the use, the product, the transaction application, and the courier services are also partnering with us to make it even more convenient for the renters and those who rent the camping gear from the Chemter. And we also do the POC. As part of that POC, we have a strategic partnership with the Elysian Gangchon and provided this program for the inbound travelers so that they can enjoy the camping using our gears. As I mentioned earlier, we have tech and partnership and operational experience. And based on this, the cafe and vendors and offline, the service providers, we were providing that these conventional suppliers cannot provide. So even in the first quarter, which is the off-season for camping, we have achieved a significant growth, and the number of users has grown up to over 10,000 in second quarter, and the re-user who is using our service more than once has also grown as well. So within just half a month, so for 46,000 made the download of our application, and the transaction number exceeds the 350s, highlighting the potential, the business potential that we have. And these all show that we have a growth potential going forward. Let me now share with you the growth model that we have. So we have this revenue model coming from the transaction fees and the B2B, B2G contracts and the subscription and added on service. And if you look at these transactions that we have had, we have retail clients and the storage clients and the government clients as well. So we have a diversified client base. You see, the market size is expected to grow over 1 trillion Korean won. And with the rapid growth of inbound travelers, the market size will grow even bigger. Chemter is not mere camping gear provider. We have accumulated know-how and understanding of the camping trends and technology. So based on this, we would like to provide a comprehensive experience in order to go global. We have this stage-based business plan, the rental, commercial activity, and the communities are all be connected with the Chemter service. So 170 million is our revenue target this year. And by 2027, we would like to go public. And we're targeting those who are in their 30s and 40s. And those who live in the greater Seoul area. Particularly the male clients are our targets because they do have a purchasing power. And marketing will be done by integrating online and offline channels. And let me now introduce our team. I'm the CEO. I have a master's degree in business administration, and I have a degree from the UK. and I've been doing the SCM business at the startup. And we have our this team focused on growth and development. We have this bright talents. We're dedicated to growing Camter into a global business. Thanks to our team, we have been chosen for the many startup programs, and we have been garnered many support from the government, and we have also registered the patent and the trademark. For the unutilized resources and the products, we would like to expand the lifespan and the usage for these camping gears and unused items. And together with the municipalities, local municipalities, that we provide this camping gear rental projects. And we saw the niche that there is even greater potential across many different age groups. And we're also engaged in this program, the boosting local tourism and the daily life football through camping. Together with the Korea Tourism Organization that we visited, the Changsu-gun, and we also have a plan to work with the Bonghagun as well. So that's it for our presentation. Camter. We would like to create a sustainable camping experience and market, so anyone without having a concern about the cost can enjoy camping experience. Thank you very much. So if there's any question, feel free to ask. Yes, we will take questions if there is any. If you raise your hand, we will deliver the microphone to you. So we have learned about the Camter's business. Any questions? I think the explanation was quite clear and in depth. Thank you very much once again for your presentation. Thank you. So next presentation is going to be on the waste plastic supply chain management platform.
폐플라스틱 공급망 관리 계속해서
Presentation earlier was on-demand camping experience, now on the waste plastic supply chain management platform.
코드
Mr. Lee Chang-eun, the CEO of a Creative Code, will present the next part. Let's welcome him with a big round of applause.
네, 안녕하세요.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lee Chang-eun from Creative Code. Before I start my presentation, I would like to express my gratitude for inviting me and giving me an opportunity to present in front of all the distinguished guests. Let me move on to my presentation. It is a ESCM platform for waste plastic supply chain management. First, I will start with the problems and the market opportunity. Right now, according to OECD, up to 2045, we will continuously increase the use of plastic, and also regulations is expanded to mandate the use of recycled materials. That means any digital platform or a supply chain management will be an issue. According to the digital protocol, companies will be required to prove their recycling plan. Next, the market size that we want to enter. See, the global circular economy market is expected to grow all the way to 1,000 trillion Korean won, and the domestic waste recycling market is expected to reach 22.2 trillion Korean won. Next, about regulations. For importing, by 2030, waste plastic will be prohibited by the government. And in 2025 and 2026, we expected a requirement of using recycled materials. It will be now grow to 10%, and there will be more expansion of the utilization of a recycled material. So that means that the recycled and reusable materials will have a price surge. We can expect some issues. For example, some water bottles were created, but then right away it was discarded and it was re-imported, and there were some issues. So if you think about waste plastic in Korea, especially verification part is now on the spot highlight. If I move on to the detail, recycling subsidy policy is one item, and also mandatory use of recycled materials are next, and the EPR reduction policy are some regulation drive. And they have something in common, meaning that we have to prove that domestic waste plastics are used. Next, market analysis. Currently, the recycled material traceability system is only just the beginning. We want to secure reliable data and the quality of products, and the price stability will be pursued through our technology, and that is our plan. Next, our solution. We can summarize our slogan in one sentence. Reliable partners can be found by KRDPP. This is our platform. Waste recycling and manufacturing brands can create and transact various materials, and upstream and downstream value will be created. As you can see, we have some expected benefits. Waste-related companies can secure supply channels, and more efficiently they can provide the waste materials. And for recycling-related companies can secure more partners, and they can develop higher technology. And the manufacturing brands can create sustainable products, and that way they can secure more of a renewable raw materials. And on top of these three, we can keep the data so that we can secure the data regarding circular economy. We have two features on our platform. First, a global digital resource market hub, and next, digital council for circular economy verification. We want to call it ESCM as a service. We started from the big companies on the supply chain all the way to the small-sized companies. We can do the high-quality data management, and that is our goal. Let me briefly introduce a scenario of our platform. First, we work with the waste-related companies and recycling-related companies. These are often called the circular materials, and then they are classified as suppliers, and they register their product information, and the B2B market is where they save their information. And then if anybody in demand of this information, they can do the decision making based on this information. And after that, we do the supply-demand matching, and that will result in contract finalization. And after that, we can secure back data of the resource recycling. Our plan is simple. From the bottom left, web-based platform is where consumers can come, they sign up and they log in, and then they also verify their companies. And next, suppliers can put their information onto the database, and then based on that data, Coupang, Curly, or other market space will introduce these products, and then they sometimes will ask them the company's information. And once we completed with the step 1, 2, and 3, we are able to create a resource recycling certificate. And with this certificate, people are able to find all the history of that product. So our technology came from the blockchain combined with the zero knowledge proof. And sometimes we have a sensitive information which is not saved, and maybe we have some essential information like recycled materials are used in this much volume, and the carbon footprint is this much, and all these information can be saved, and while confidential information is not saved. Next, analysis of competitors in 2 groups I want to introduce. On the left side, Group A is Circular Lies or Everydays and other famous European companies, and they are good at tracing of any transaction of a product, but they do not do B2B market-related work. In Group B, it's called B2B Marketplace, and it is a large-scale companies with a great achievement in their business performance. Business marketplace and the contract-related communities are in operation in these companies in Group B, but they do not do certificate or verification. Transactions tracking and certification will be integrated through our platform to create a synergy effects. Now I want to talk about our achievements so far. If you look at the middle part, NIPA had the competition, and we successfully achieved this project with an NIPA, and SaaS platform was able to create it in a very delicate manner. Busan, Ulsan, Gyeongnam are the areas where we have a lot of industrial complex and companies. So they do have the custom plastic complex, blockchain, plastic convergence is one project we worked on with the Busan Techno Park for the digital plastic recycling certification, and we have 2 other partners in the consortium. And there is a KISTA, it is related to patent organization, and then we want to also pay attention to the potential of the future patent of technology, so that's why we work with them. In 2025, we are ready to pull out this fully functioned platform, and we also prepare a lot of traction for the business expansion. Last but not least, recycled materials, waste plastics are some topics of our business, and we want to help the companies who will utilize these recycled and recycled materials, and we want to pave the way for the company's global expansion with the recycled raw material. That wraps up my presentation. Creative Code is a circular economy digital transformation research institute. My name was Lee Chang-yun. Thank you very much. Thank you. Anybody has a question regarding Creative Code? Let me hand over microphone to you. There's someone in front. Thank you. It was Creative Code by CEO Lee Chang-yoon. Thank you very much for your presentation. Waste recycling is also our area. And I just had a presentation about the railroad sleepers. Our difficulties are found to deal with large companies and public corporation because we are pretty small sized and we're not financially capable. Oftentimes we want to calculate the carbon footprint, but we're not able to do so without certain technology. I'm not sure if you can help some companies like us from a Creative Code. Thank you very much for your question. As you mentioned, feedstock paradox is something we have in consideration. About raw materials, we have a lot of things in dilemma. SK or Lotte Chemical and many other big chemical companies are our partners, and they need a recycled waste and recycled raw materials, and plastic is one of them. And there are some companies in the middle doing a lot of work manually, and sometimes they don't have any documentation about their factory process. So digitalization is a must for those companies. And first of all, it shouldn't be you can afford to that service. So without reliability of your products, larger companies cannot make decision. Yes, we want to make a platform to help such companies like your company. So I think we can accommodate your request to the scope of our service. Thank you. Anybody else for one more question? Thank you very much for your presentation. I think it's a follow-up question of the previous one. As you mentioned, in the stage of the supplying waste plastic, let's say we have some waste plastic from households, but oftentimes there are different characteristics of different types of plastics, and it's hard to find the information. Like, do you target industrial waste plastic? I think it will be a little easier than any waste plastic from households. Or do you consider to expand your business to waste plastic collection from households? PIR stands for the industrial thing, and then PCR is representing the plastic from households. So there are some companies for PCR, and they do need the certification and the verification, and we want to include that scope in our service. I hope that answers your question. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else to Creative Code? I guess you can cover a lot. You covered a lot of information. Let's give him another big round of applause for his wonderful presentation. Thank you. That was the topic about the plastic supply chain management.
오늘
Next presentation will be made by the CEO, Fan Quinn of Mona. And the presentation will be on B2B AI surplus distribution platform. Please welcome CEO Mona Pond with a big round of applause.
Quinn Fan. I'm Vietnamese American, and I have lived in Korea for over 10 years now. So a little bit about me. I used to run a bakery and vegan bakery and restaurant in Yeonhee-dong. And as a business owner, I had to face a lot of problem with food waste, especially food or bread that can still be eaten, but we had to discard them. And this is what led me to create Mona. So, have you ever wondered what happened to the leftover bread or food that's in your supermarket or local bakery? They end up in the trash every single day. And it's not just the F&B industry. It's every single industry, any industry that has any kinds of products like cosmetics. Maybe you don't know, but cosmetics, if they don't get sold within 1 year of the expiration date, they end up in landfills. So businesses spend hundreds of millions of dollars disposing food and products that can still be useful to people. So this is where Mona comes in. Also, there's Korean as well. So we are a platform that connects businesses with charities. So any businesses with surplus products, food, and expiring products, we help them connect to the charity of their choices, various charities locally. And we facilitate from matching to delivery. We give them tax deduction. And we also give ESG reports. And we turn this donation into a marketing opportunity. We create ESG marketing opportunities for them. So we take care of everything. So you can take a look at the process. So we pick up the products, we distribute to charities, we create an ESG report, and we promote to our community of over 16,000 members in Korea. This is where the ESG marketing content come from. And you can think of us as a one-stop circular economy platform. We are redefining the meaning of circular economy. It's not just upcycling or recycling, but taking what can still be consumed, can still be used, to give to the community, the charities that benefit the most from them. So creating a win-win-win situation for everyone. So this is an example of our ESG impact report. We work with various industries, not just F&B. And even if a business or an organization that don't really make products, we work with them such as university if they need to move the organizations or they need to get rid of furniture, office supplies, and etc. So ESG marketing materials, we creating news releases, official releases, and also videos. And we've been featured on Korea Times several times as well, and different various media outlets. And we using the AI matching to match the charities and the businesses depending on their needs, their requests, their locations, and we also file our IP TikTok in Korean last year in 2024, and we also won the Gold Prize for the Seoul International Innovation Fair last year as well. And these are some of our attractions. So we were incorporated in Korea in the end of 2023, and so far we facilitated over 130 million won worth of food and products. And in the process, we helped the businesses save over 35 million won in tax deductions, storage, disposal costs, and so on. So we recently signed contract with Grand Hyatt Incheon, who after using our service, we helped them reduce 45% of wet garbage waste monthly. Some of our big corporation partners are Ben & Jerry's, also Korean book publishers. And our market size, we started with F&B, but we have done a lot of non-F&B as well. So these are some of the statistics and market opportunity for us. So this is the pricing. We have pay-as-you-go, but also monthly. So for monthly, it's usually hotel that use our monthly service because they need regular pickups. But for pay-as-you-go, if you need to just donate one-time donation, then we also facilitate that. And these are some of the press coverages. And yes, we were also selected as one of the top 20 in the K Startup Grand Challenge. sponsored by the Ministry of SMEs and Startups, and we were selected out of a pool of 1,700 applicants from 114 countries. So some of our partners and organizations, we sign contract and MOU with various businesses and also NGOs and supported by local governments as well. So these are our team. So I'm the CEO. So I used to run a vegan restaurant for 3 years in Yeonhee-dong. And we have an ESG tech lead and operation. So there are 7 of us total. And yes. So we are more than just a social venture. We are a movement that's changing the circular economy scene in South Korea. And if you have any additional questions, I'm happy to take them. 한국어도 가능하니까 네, 편하게.
You can ask question in Korean as well. So let's take question. You can ask question in Korean or English. And Vietnamese, you can ask question in Vietnamese as well. But we cannot ask question in Vietnamese. So if you have any question, please raise your hand. So AI-based, the B2B, the resource circulation and distribution platform is what Mona provides. Yes, the mic will be delivered to the person who raised a hand. Yes, we will deliver the mic to you. Thank you very much for the presentation. So I look forward to the expansion of your business. I guess it will grow further. So there are many big restaurants run by the large corporates, and they also have an in-house cafeteria and banter, and there will be a lot of the food waste generated from them. So are you also, do you have a plan to work with the large companies? I will respond in English.
We usually work with big corporations because we already did our research for like small local restaurants, but this kind of service is more suitable for big corporations like Grand Hyatt Hotel, for example, and catering buffet for conferences like this because they have a bigger amount. If it's too small, we cannot really do the matching with charities. We have a different model, which is B2C. So that's kind of like a different thing for an additional stage. So for us, we are focusing on only big corporations, at the moment.
Thank you very much for the presentation. So the food waste is being circulated, but it needs to be circulated within a really short period of time. So how do you enable that, and how long does it take to deliver that to the charities?
We only take the food that was made on the same day. So for example, in the morning they have breakfast, and then we pick up in the evening. And all this while the food is pokwan in the fridge. So we make sure to brief our customers that we have a limitation of what we can accept. So make sure you put it in the fridge, and we have like a gyoyu of what kind of food that can be donated. For example, in the summer, we don't take raw seafood. Raw seafood. So those safety is our priority. And also when we give to the charities, they also understand that this food needs to be consumed within 1 or 2 hours. So far, we have been working with Grand Hyatt for 6 months now. And we never had any issues from either party, from Hyatt or from the receiving parties. So everyone knows what we are doing.
고맙습니다. 또 이렇게 계절별로
Thank you very much. Yes, as each season that we need to consider those seasonality as well. Yes, if there is any further question. Thank you very much for the presentation. I have one question. So we have a food waste. And are you also doing research on whether the food waste can be made into the regenerative, the energy sources?
Can still be consumed right? So there are two kinds of food waste. One that is absolutely cannot be consumed. The other is can be consumed. So we're focusing on the second one. However, we also understand that businesses spend a lot of money, like maybe 1,000,000 won, 10,000, 20,000 won a month to throw away these food waste. So that is our next step, is to connect the businesses with upcycling partners. So we also partner with upcycling companies that use the food waste to create, for example, this one company we work with, they use the food waste to make anti-COVID spray, for example. So we plan to do that to cover everything, not just the edible food waste, but also the inedible food waste as well. So that's our next step. Yeah.
감사합니다.
고맙습니다. 재활용
Thank you very much. So if there are companies and partners who do have a technology in the recycling, the food waste, then you may be able to contact the CEO, the Pan Quint. Thank you very much. Yes, so that was the B2B AI Surplus, the distribution platform.
기업을 만나
Let us meet the sixth company. The topic is From Eco-Design to Successful Circular Business Design. It will be a presentation by Paula Fontel, the CEO of Ethica. Let's welcome her with a big round of applause.
Hello, good morning. And first, I would like to thank you so much for all the organizers for being able to present Ethica and our services for the audience. So Ethica is a Finland-based circular economy consultancy, and I'm the founder and CEO of Ethica. Ethica was founded in 2013, so we have been working with circular economy, circular business models, and helping companies to comply with the eco-design requirements already for 12 years. This is our mission. We work across the different industries, and we also help companies to find business partners and form those circular value chains that are needed in order to be able to transfer to circular economy model. Our services could be grouped into 4 different categories. We do quite a lot of circular capacity building. What I've learned now during the kind of last days here in Korea also is that a circular economy and eco-design are still quite unknown topics to most of the companies. So we help, for example, training staff or training the management teams and explaining what circular economy is all about and what does really this market transition mean for the businesses. Then we can help the business leadership teams to set some strategic targets and try to find the best opportunities within circular economy. For example, EU as a market area is definitely moving towards circular economy. Circular economy has been integrated in nearly all the policies and regulations governing the companies within the EU area. So definitely all companies need to take this on their agenda as when they are preparing their business strategies. We also work quite a lot on circular product design, meaning when companies start designing their new products or when they want to optimize their current product portfolios to be compliant with the EU eco-design regulations. And as already mentioned, The circular business models, when you start looking at the whole life cycle of your products and the material cycling, you need the value chain partners. And we've already today heard a lot of very wonderful examples from other presenters, what kind of partners the companies and big corporations might need for material innovations or recycling or reuse of their waste streams. So that is something that we can also help companies to understand, identify, and form those collaborations. This is one of our key projects at the moment that we are working on in the Nordic countries. This was originally part of national circular economy strategy when the government officials wanted to ensure that in the Nordic countries companies will be compliant with this upcoming EU regulation. And we started this capacity building program first for 50 leading companies in Finland, and now currently 30 to 50 companies from all the Nordic countries are participating the program. These are mostly Nordic brands, but you might recognize some of them. For example, the Kone elevators from Finland, and there's Helly Hansen from textile industry, Echo producing shoes and so forth. So we work across all the industries because the eco-design principles are the same regardless of the sector. Of course, then the individual solutions might be quite different. But during this program, all the participating companies have agreed to set strategic targets for their company that what are their goals related to circular economy, and they are also working on very concrete product service concepts. So they have picked some of their products and have started to learn and experiment that what would it really mean for it to comply with the eco-design regulation and work in the circular economy with circular business models. We also have some public content which is in English, published by the program. So at the program website, circulardesignprogram.com, if you want to hear some of these podcasts available there, so feel free to get familiar with some of these topics that we cover in the program. And as mentioned, this program was created originally by the public administrators for companies to be compliant. But this is equally relevant for all companies, for example, in Korea, for whom EU and Europe is a significant market, because this eco-design regulation will be applicable to all products that will be in the future sold in the EU market. And here you can see some of the first product groups that will be governed by this regulation among the first ones. So there's textiles, apparel, furniture, tires, mattresses, and energy-related products. Then any products that include iron, steel, or aluminium, there will be some regulations as well. And then ICT, consumer electronics, and home appliances, they will have that mandatory requirements for recycled content, as well as then they need to be repairable in the future. And there are further kind of studies at the moment going on for chemicals and foodware, which will be regulated quite soon as well. So this is why we started the program, and this is also why we can help and consult individual companies on these topics. And here, I don't know if you were participating at the conference and forum already yesterday. There was a lot of talks and presentations by the EU government, EU officials about the ESPR, this Eco-Design for Sustainable Products regulation. But here you can see some of the product parameters and those topics that will be included in this regulation and that will be covered by the ESPR regulation. I have circled here some of the topics for the sense that traditionally, when companies have been working on sustainability or ESG, we have already been focusing on resource efficiency. Companies have already started calculating the carbon footprints, and we have been focusing on emissions. But there has not been that high requirements for recycled content, and especially these end-of-life solutions for products. What will be done to your company's products after they have been used? And that is really a new area. And this is also where you need that value chain collaboration. This is one example of why we also cover the value chain topics so much in our consultancy work, as well as in our competence development programs, is that in order to be able to get some recycled materials, this is an example of post-consumer textile recycling system that we have created in Finland as one of the first ones in the world. But to be able to create these closed-loop circular business models, you need all these value chain partners to work together on this topic. And this is something that we can also look from one company's perspective, that could there be new business opportunities in these new circular value chains, or what kind of partners do you need in order to create these circular business models? So in this picture, for example, you can see that there is, as we heard from the previous presentation, there is reuse for those materials that can still be reused, and then there is the whole kind of value chain for recycling as well for those materials that cannot be used as such. So this also follows the circular economy principles. But as we look at circular economy and eco-design very much from the business development perspective, it is not enough for a successful business to only create a product that is compliant with the legislation and with the ESPR. So always, as in any business, you need to have the right partners, and you also need to create products that provide a good customer experience for your customers. So we also spend quite a lot of time on co-creating and innovating those solutions so that they are financially viable, they are technically feasible, and most of all, they are desirable for the customers. And now also we work quite a lot with the R&D teams and designers of different companies on new product development. And there will be a huge demand for this kind of work when we think that all the products in the future sold in the EU market have to be designed by kind of circular design principles and be compliant with eco-design regulation. So how we do it, so we work with the R&D and design teams and help them integrate all those requirements in their new product development processes. And when we've asked our customers in the Nordic countries that what are the most important things for them in circular economy, these were their answers. So they are looking for these value chain collaborations. They are continuously looking for new partners. They also want to partner with their customers and help their customers to comply with the regulations and work on that innovation together. And learning and skills still important for companies also in the EU countries. And these are all the topics that we as Ethica can also help the Korean companies. And we will be here still today for the whole day together with my colleague Ville Grönlund. So really happy to talk with you also later on if you're interested in our consultancy services. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We'll have a question, I think, from the floor. So, is there any questions? 혹시 질문 있으시면
Please raise your hand if you have any questions so we can deliver the microphone to you. I believe this is a great opportunity to get to know more about Nordic companies, also through the presentation, but you can ask a few more questions to get to know more about this European situation. I think there's someone in front. Do you have receiver? Thank you very much for your presentation. It was impressive. So you're focusing on the Nordic countries. That's first question, or do you cover other region? So the second question, maybe like Eastern Europe, Southern Europe, maybe they have different situations, you think? Because we have a lot of Korean companies entering Eastern Europe. And I also looked for the opportunities to enter the Eastern Europe.
Thank you for the question. We mostly work in the Nordic countries and Europe, but during the last 2 years, we have expanded our services into new areas, covering some Eastern European countries as well as Turkey, India, and then we'll be looking whether there is demand for our services in Korea. So we work kind of in a hybrid mode, partly online and partly on site with our customers, so we are able to deliver services almost to any location. Thank you for your question.
Thank you for the response, and the good partners are here in Korea as well. 혹시 또
Any other questions? Thank you very much for your presentation. My question is, in Ethica, chemical or mediate materials, are there some areas that the chemicals or mediate materials demands through Ethica? Look for any partners in Korea?
We don't at the moment have such companies, but that is kind of part of our work, what we do with companies when we start looking at their products. And then circular materials is very important part of that kind of eco-design compliance. So definitely a lot of companies are very much looking for new alternatives. And we do quite a lot of kind of matchmaking also. So we are very interested in finding about all the new kind of material innovations and solutions, so that the more that we know, we are able to then also help our clients to find those solutions. So I was also very happy to hear about the solutions from other presenters, so we can kind of take the word forwards in Europe to our clients as well. Thank you.
감사합니다.
Thank you.
Five minutes left. 네, 아마 다
I believe mostly it was covered. Thank you very much, Ms. Paula Fontel, for your wonderful presentation. That was Paula Fontel of the Ethica to talk about eco-design in the context of a circular economy. So we just finished the total of 6 presentations. And we need to wrap up, and we will resume the session in the plastic, bio, and the metal part in the afternoon from 1:30. And in the afternoon also we have a quiz show. We urge more participation and interest in our quiz show. I will see more audience at 1:30. Thank you.
네, 여러분 식사 맛있게
I hope you enjoyed your lunch break, and also it's great to see you again to share great technology and the excellence of a corporate advantages. Probably you're tired towards the end of the session in the afternoon. Therefore, we prepared for the quiz show during the session, and we will continue in terms of the material and the recycled material. And we are going to have the first speaker from JM Tech, Mr. Lee Ju-young. Let me welcome him with a big round of applause.
어서 오십시오. 오른쪽으로 오시고.
To the right, please. Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Lee Ju-young from JM Tech. Let me introduce my company. My company was established in 2001 and has been producing aluminum chips for steel slag preparation. In 2010, we began exporting aluminum granules. From 2012 and to 2015, we developed a recycling process for used radiators. This was successfully completed, and we received the Ministry of SMEs and the Startup Award in 2019. We hold 9 patents as an intellectual property. Let me explain our business model. We use a mixed metal scrap as a raw materials. Through our unique multi-step processes, we recover high purity metals. Let me briefly show you the introduction video. As you saw in the video, our main products include aluminum granules and the copper flakes, with high purity products featuring aluminum purity of 98.5% or higher and copper purity of 99.7 or higher. Aluminum granules are primarily used in the summit reactions, while copper flakes are used in the applications. Through our processes, there's no CO2 emission, and our technology achieves a higher recovery rate. Now let me explain the differentiation and the superiority of our technology compared to other existing technologies. Existing methods do not recycle and have a high production costs, and they generate CO2. We recycle aluminum to produce high purity aluminum granules with a purity of over 98% through an efficient processes. As a result, we are more than 25% more competitive than other companies in terms of price, and it's also eco-friendly. Let me briefly tell you about the market status. And the ESG is expanding widely, and now the recycling waste is very important. Metals such as copper and aluminum are environmentally friendly and perfectly recyclable, reusable resources. In light of the global trend toward carbon neutrality, the resource recycling industry has very high growth potential. Gaining popularity due to its eco-friendly and recyclable nature. Also, product research and the technological development is now ongoing. Demands are expected to increase, and with eco-friendly materials gaining attention, the use of recycled materials is also expected to grow significantly. We have a unique competitive advantage through a development of the world's first recycling processes. Important evaluation factors include product quality, price, supply stability, and technological capabilities. Processing flexibility and technological capabilities to respond quickly to changes through research and development, and also ensure supply stability through domestic production. For business model, we pre-treat and recycle waste radiators to produce environmentally friendly aluminum granules and copper flakes. And we sell aluminum granules for use in thermite reactions with the special steel materials. And we also sell copper flakes as a raw material. Next is the examples of a cooperation. Some companies with like mind, we started the project, and production of samples were available according to demands from the company's request. We have some cases of a cooperation with the companies with demand, and we conducted supply contracts after passing the quality test, and also supply high-quality recycled materials through cooperation with demand companies. We have an automatic sorting machine that is operated by digital settings. And depending on the condition of the grinded materials, we develop highly efficient sorting machines. And also we developed environmentally friendly waste treatment sorting machines. At the moment, we develop AI-controlled sorting machine operated by Drive Element Control Program. And we now are able to do the big data collection, and we collect actual production process data and develop AI control sorting machine program based on this data. Now our potentials for business expansion. We can maintain global competitiveness in the aluminum granules and the copper flake industry. And we are able to provide a stable, high quality through the digital sorting machines. And we can secure price competitiveness through use of raw materials recovered from waste. And we can increase the productivity that will meet growing domestic and overseas demands. And we're now working on securing competitiveness in the large-scale recycling industries. And in the future, we believe that the automating future large-scale waste treatment processes become more important. And also, we want to and we wish to automate and streamline large-scale waste, such as solar panel, electric vehicle batteries, and the processes. And these are the areas we expect to grow in the future, which means that we need more technologies for business expansion. As a future growth engine industry, we can utilize our technologies for the importing substantion and the cost reduction through renewable resources production in countries without natural resources. We are now accumulating big data through the introduction of smart processes in the scrap metal recycling industry. We're now working on the increased waste recovery rates. Thank you very much. That's all for my presentation. Anyone has questions about this presentation by JM Tech? We will deliver the microphone. So without carbon footprint, the processes can be widely used. I believe that it's well explained. We have no further questions. Once again, let's give another big round of applause to Mr. Lee Ju-young for his wonderful presentation. We look forward to see more growth of a business from JM Tech. You're now seeing the QR code, and if you have any questions about the presentation material, please scan the QR code. You can see it's not available for download, but you can still see the presentation material if you are using the QR code on the screen. Thank you.
시간 두 번째 발표.
Let me introduce the eighth speaker, the second speaker of this afternoon, who will make the presentation on the topic of Green Tomorrow, Creating New Value. And the presentation will be made by Mr. Cho Sung-hwan of Poramco. Please welcome him with a big round of applause. Good afternoon. I am Sung-hwan Cho, General Manager of Poramco. I will give you the brief overview of Poramco. What we do is we do the recycling of steel mill rolled byproducts. Steel mill rolled byproducts are being recycled by our company and that byproducts are turned into high-value products. We are located at the Post Tag, and we were established back in 2022. The reason that we established Poramco is this. From the steel mill, so 110,000 tons of byproducts are produced. Majority of this byproduct can be made into a recycled product, but they have been discarded so far. So that's why we established Poramco to provide recycled products. So have you ever heard of this word, byproduct, the steel mill byproduct? No one have ever heard of this rolling byproduct. So when we have a steel plate produced, but it's very thick, and when this goes into the production line, it's made into a very thin steel plate. And from the above and the below, that this rolling byproducts are being used to press that thick plate into the thin one. And these discarded The byproducts are coming to our company for the reproduction. So we do manufacturing and recycling of the materials. So as you can see from the photos, that we get this waste rolls, and that is being reprocessed and remanufactured, and the heat treatment is also done for this to reproduce. So I will play a short video.
With a supply of the highest quality scrap rolls from global steel companies, the optimal usage sites are paired through Peremco's AI algorithm technology. And for a more dense metal tissue, it goes through heating processes just like the new remanufacturing process, then cutting machining and surface heating processes, and after polishing and inspection, high-quality rolls that are just as new are born.
So did you get the process? So what this video shows is that when the byproduct come to our process, we go through this process to produce the new recycled and remanufactured products. And we also reuse this briquette, the high-speed steel briquettes. So when we do this finishing, there is waste and the scraps coming out from the process. So let me also play a video.
Layer of heating rolls are made of nickel, chromium, vanadium, tungsten, etc., which are all very rare. For heating rolls, if the surface layers wear out, they must be thrown away. But about 20% of expensive ferroalloys are left when this occurs. Throwing this away would be a waste of resources, right? So Peremco used ultrasonic flaw detection on the surface of all the thrown-out rolls, mined ferroalloys that were left using their patented technology, transformed by optimizing binder mixing and crimping intensity to create a top-quality.
무슨 얘기냐고 하면은 롤이
So when the rolls are discarded, within that roll and on the surface, there are rare materials like nickel, molybdenum, vanadiums are there on the surface. And without discarding them, we made briquettes to reproduce the rolls, and these are provided as the feedstock to the other companies. So you saw on the surface there are many rare materials like nickel, vanadium, and molybdenum. And we tried this to extract them from the surface. The nickel in particular, you see that it's being used as the cathode for the secondary battery, and it's not being commercialized yet, but the negotiations are going on with the large companies. The nickels are now in the stage of leaching, right before the extraction stage. We're looking into the business feasibility. Probably next year, it can be made into the marketable products. So from discarded rolls that we manufacture and reuse and remanufacture these products, and the market size is quite big. Globally, it's worth the 43.3 trillion Korean won. And this is our business model. The discarded rolls are turned into a high-valued products, contributing to the ESG business. So we do B2B business. And this was used for the IR, so I will skip the slide for this presentation. These are targeted markets. As I mentioned earlier, from the steel mills that we get this rolls, discarded rolls. So from POSCO that we get this discarded rolls. These are our main target. And second, the Hyundai, Seat, Donggu. The rolling companies are our secondary targets. And remanufactured rolls that we have this brand attached to it, and this has been tested by the POSCO's affiliates. For the rolls, the testing it takes about 2 months, and after the testing is done, that it will be available in the market. And we do have a revenue coming from POSCO Indonesia. And so we're going to enter into the other Southeast Asian market and Europe and the US. And probably it will take some time. And this is our team. We have a CEO, Im Si-woo, who is from the POSCO, has been in charge of roles at POSCO for 32 years. So he, I believe, is a true expert on role. And we also have the executive coming from the POSCO Research Institute. And we also have an expert on binder and the doctors from the POSTAC. And I'm in charge of sales and marketing. So we are a group of 6, but once the products are commercialized and the plants are established, we plan to have recruitment of 100 new employees. These are the key milestones for our company. So we are the POSCO in-house venture. And in 2020, the Pearl Ramco was officially registered as a corporation. That we've been doing a lot of business with the government. And in 2023, we signed the mutual growth agreement with the POSCO. So it took about 3 years. So we have been supplying this remanufactured products to POSCO. And we were selected as the promising the SME in Pohang, and we also received the Prime Minister's citation for the mechanical industry contribution. And this year, we are selected for performance evaluation R&D, and we were invited as the speaker at the World Green Growth Forum. So we only have one slide for the milestone, but I look forward to sharing a lot more slides for our milestones going forward. That's it for my presentation. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So that was the second presentation of this afternoon. Any questions? Yes? We will deliver the mic to you. Thank you very much for the presentation. So remanufactured rolls are your products. You said when you remanufacture, the surface is peeled. Then that does not fit the roll dimension. So the remanufactured rolls cannot be used for the original purposes. Is that what you mean? Yes, right. The size is not right. So the rolls are not really used in a lot of cases, right? So the remanufactured rolls, do you have a lot of demand for that size? Well, even at POSCO, so the cooling, heating, and the post and the follow-up process, there are many different processes that require the different size rolls. So we make the small size rolls. And there is the AI matching technology that is being developed together with the POSTAC, so that can be used to match the right size. And the POSCO has overseas subsidiaries as well, so there are a lot of demands. I have one more question. So when we think about remanufacturing, like you said, the remanufactured product, I believe, should be used for the original purposes. So without having to peel the surface. But can we, I think we can do it without having to peeling the surface. Are you doing the research on this as well? Yes, we're doing that as well. So when the rolls are discarded, so let's say we have 300 kilograms of rolls, but so the rolls are used until it becomes the 280s, but if it goes down to the 250 kilograms, that cannot be used as the roll for the original purposes. So we need to find the right lines to provide this roll with the smaller size. Thank you very much for the response. We will take one last question if there is any. I think the enough information has been provided by the presentations and the answers. Please, let's give the Mr. Cho Sung-hwan with another round of applause. So together with you, that we're having this presentation from the companies learning about their new technologies.
AB
Now, Director Kim Sung-woo from ABR will have a presentation to talk about secondary lithium battery process scrape target, and that is his topic. Let me again introduce Kim Sung-won from ABR with a big round of applause.
네, 네, 알겠습니다. 네, 안녕하십니까. 방금 소개받은 주식회
As introduced, my name is Kim Sung from ABR.
회사 잘 홍보.
So we'll do my best to give the as much information as possible. So the battery, the recirculation process. So what we do is recycling. So the batteries that are being produced and discarded, you see there are many different materials, and we use this scrap for recycling. So from the secondary battery industry, so this slide shows the market size. You may not be able to see it very clearly since it's very small. As of 2025, so you see this market size will become bigger and bigger and become 80 billion Korean won and there are a lot of scraps that are being produced from this industry. So from the EOLs, from the end-of-life batteries that can be reused for any of purposes. But these materials that are being used for the processes that have not been used for any other purposes, but just like the EOL battery, they are just being discarded. So that's why we had this approach. So this unused, the materials are being reutilized and recycled. So that's our business model. So we use the scraps from the process for recycling. And lately, the plants gets bigger and bigger. You see the Korean large companies. So processing, the volume decreased to 10%, and the Northvolt, the company that recently went bankrupt, the 40% of scrap have been produced from their process. And in India and in other countries, that many battery companies are newly established. And from these battery companies, that 50% of products and the materials are being discarded. So we will have more and more scraps from the process. And now we do have this process. we need the black mass and black powder. If you like to go through this, the recycling, the wet recycling, but only this can be done only in Korea and China. So the scraps from the other countries, for example, from the US and other industrialized companies, they are shipped to Korea, either Korea or China, and shipping costs accounts for 30%. So when we reduce the shipping cost, then we can cut down the cost a lot. And there is another issue, that environmental issue. I think do not need to go over this a lot. So strong acids are being used, and water, a lot of water needs to be put into the process to reduce the acidity. And that's why a lot of complaints and the petitions are being made from the neighborhoods as well. So what we do is the direct recycling, not the wet or dry method recycling. So we do the direct recycling. So without making the materials into powder, we use this waste battery into the recycled products. And there are some recyclers, and these recyclers use the EOL batteries for recycling. But like I mentioned earlier, we use the scraps from the process. Then the cycles can become shorter and it's more economically feasible. So that's why we decided to do the business using the scrap from the process. So if you look at the photo at the bottom and diagrams at the bottom, the ultrasonic and the UV, the rays are being used to make a separation. And these active ingredients are purified to be made into the new products. So we do the discussions and make a proposal to our potential clients, and this is our process. In Gwangyang, we have this process in place. So up to 2 tons can be provided per year. And in April this year, the new building was rented. So the facility has been expanded to the 120 pyeongs. So within the facilities, the semi-automatic production process have been introduced, and in order not to rebuild our technological know-how, so we're doing business only with existing vendors and suppliers and the partners. So this is a summary and the recap of what I just explained. So we do have prototypes, and some products are being sold to the companies and the customers as samples. And these are the photos of our products. Going forward, we have this business model for the future. Now, we use the processed scrap from the battery production lines, and then we recover the cathode materials, and we have this direct recycling process to remanufacture our products. So on this slide, that you see how our products are being manufactured. We are not doing business with 3 major domestic companies, but we're doing global business. So in India and PALCO, which is a subsidiary of Volkswagen. So we do business together with those companies, global companies. So if you like to recycle processed scraps, we need the code from those companies, but it's not easy at the moment. So we do circumvent and take advantage of a regulatory sandbox. So cathode, anode, and the scraps from the production lines can be done in ABR. So that's approval that we have gotten from the regulatory sandbox, and that was made in last December. So without having any restraints, that we are able to remanufacture and reproduce our products. So what's most important is to secure the materials. And to the left side at the top, that you can see that we have this contract signed, an MOU and NDA with these companies to secure the customers. And we prioritize the protecting our IPs. So we do register the patents, and one more patent has been registered. So we have a total of 4. And below you can see the patents pending. So we're expanding the protection for our IP. We started from the cathode and anode, and the other materials for the secondary batteries and the carbons for the water purifiers are also being considered for the future business expansion. And for that, we do have patent applications and the registration. So you see, this is our team and our organizational structure. And so it's been 4 years since the establishment, and the head office is in Gwangyang. It's difficult to secure talent in Gwangyang. So in Anyang, we have a research institute. So we have a group of 21 executives, employees. And we have divided the tasks for each office. And we do IRs to secure funding. And as you can see from Chungnam Changmyeong Gravity Ventures, that 200 million Korean won, and from Jeju another 100 million and another 100 million. So we have secured a total of 300 to 400 million Korean won. And the seed money and the series IRs are being made to secure additional funding. And this is about the ESG, since this presentation is made during this festival, that we added this slide to show how our business makes a contribution to the ESG principle. So we would like to make the process and our products as sustainable as possible. These are our future plans. So thanks to the regulatory sandbox, we were able to produce our products without having any limitations. And we want our products to be verified. You need funding to do business. So we will continue to make efforts to secure funding. And lately in India, Germany, PALCO from Germany, that we plan to organize the joint venture. And the plans are going to be expanded. And we are located in Gwangyang, Ilsin Industrial Complex. So together with the Jeollanam-do province and the Gwangyang city government, we are having discussion to secure the site for our manufacturing plants. So that's it for my presentation. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Any questions? Yes, we have two persons who raised a hand. If you raise your hand, we will give the mic to you. Yes. Thank you very much for the presentation. So in your presentation, you mentioned that you need the scrap code from the companies. So that's why you took advantage of the regulatory sandbags to do the sales. But there is a period. So it's 2 to 4 years. Yeah, you're right. So what's your plan for the future after 4 years? It's not opened yet. So it's 2 years, and in addition to that 2 years, another 2 years. And we're not sourcing a large volume. So we're getting the scraps for the R&D purposes at the moment. And we also need to address some insurance issue. So once that insurance issue is addressed, we're going to officially begin sourcing the scraps from these companies. But that probably will happen sometime in the second half, probably in October. Until then, the scrap, I hope, will be reclassified as materials for the recirculation, because the proposals are going to be made by the lots of companies for probably 2 years from now. They will not be classified as a scrap, but as materials for recirculation. I'm from GMP in Incheon, Songdo. So I represent the institute that do the certification for the environmental recirculation of a material. So any new materials and the new types of materials, when these new materials are recycled, that needs to be certified by our institute. So recycling, the environmental impact certification, are you going to get the certification for this as well? Yes, there are a lot of things that we do not know. Whether do we need to obtain the certification or not, we do not know at the moment. So thanks for letting me know there is that certification. So if needed, that we will definitely have our product certified for the environmental impact. Thank you very much. So there's another person in the front row who raised a hand. Yes, I'll be seated when asking a question. Thank you very much. I have 2 questions. So first question is about the patent. The patent was titled something recycled and the recycling. So but you promoted your product as a recycled and remanufactured products and cathode anode. The terms are mixed used. So remanufacturing, recycling, well, it's really difficult to just choose the one term. If that needs to be changed, that of course that we need to change the term correctly. 3 to 4 years ago, when you decided to do this business, I was wondering how they can be remanufactured, but you kept saying that it's remanufacturing. But when we look at the patents, that is not labeled as a remanufacturing, it's labeled as a recycling. So that's why I asked. And the regulatory sandbox, that you took advantage of that. And yes, that scraps are called the scraps, even if they are from the production lines and from the 3 major companies that you are not sourcing the scraps. And yes, we're getting it from the small companies. And you said that you are also doing business with the global companies. So you import those scraps from the global companies. We prioritize having the minimum the transportation time. So we want to do it right next to the site. So for example, if it is in India that you're going to build a plant right next to the supplier and the company. So for example, that you're going to build a plant in Poland and other countries if the scraps are from those countries, right? Thank you very much. I think that's enough. That was very good for this presentation. Thank you very much. Let's give another round of applause. So the Director Sung-woo Kim from ABR shared a very useful information. So we're having this presentation session with all of you. We have a quiz show. So quiz show will begin at 2:30 p.m. So please be back by 2:30 for the quiz show. You see the QR code on the screen. You need to scan this QR code to join the quiz. So you need to join this quiz show room by scanning this QR code on the screen. You need to put into your name as nickname to get a prize once you get the quiz right. And you also need to input the password by scanning the QR code, go into the quiz showroom to join the quiz and enter your real name as the nickname. We have 10 quizzes, and those who get the most will be eligible for the prize that we have. We do have gifts prepared for the winners.
저희 지금 화면에 보시면
You can see the QR code on the screen. Please enter the quiz room. Scan the QR code and please use your real name or legal name for your nickname. Once you scan the QR code, you are invited to enter the quiz show room of the Circular Economy Festival. Again, make sure to set your nickname as your legal name.
네, 지금 벌써 19
We have 19 people already in the room. Soon, we will start the very first question. It only takes 10 seconds to display the question of each time. Within 10 seconds, I will read quickly. Don't wait for me. And as soon as you look at the questions on the screen, you can choose the true or false, or you can write the simple answer. People with multiple answers will be the winner, and if they have the same number of the answer, whoever gets the first reaction. Please join us at the conference room with a quiz show before we resume the pitching session of the company's introduction of a technology. This will be a helpful and a handy information regarding circular economy. We have some gifts ready for the quiz show winner.
네, 벌써 저희
We have 28 people total in the quiz show room. You still have a chance. Please join us by scanning the QR code, and you can see the pin on the screen. Please come join us in the quiz show room through the QR code. Now let us start the quiz show. Remember, we have some prizes for you. Through the question and answer, you will get to know more about the circular economy. Let us begin the very first quiz question. So I will count 3, 2, and 1, and then we will have a question on the screen. Quickly, you can read through, and you can hand in and submit the answer. I will read the question also, but don't wait for me. If you know the answer right away, please type the answer or choose the answer, because the faster you get the answer, the better you will have a chance to be the lucky person with a prize. Are you ready? Are you not interested? Are you ready? Thank you. Question 1. The EU Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism, or CBAM, applies to all goods imported into the EU. True or false?
여기까지.
The time is over. How many people got the answer? Let us check. 67% says O, 31% says no. The answer is O. Most people, almost 70% of people got it. The EU Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism currently applies to 6 product categories: steel, aluminum, cement, fertilizer, electricity, and hydrogen. However, imported goods that emit fewer greenhouse gases than their EU-produced counterparts, and the costs have already been paid in the country of origin, and that's exempted from paying costs. Now we have question number 2. Here we go. Get ready. What does it mean to design products in an innovative way that facilitates recycling by simplifying materials and increasing repairability to maximize product life? That 10 seconds, very, very fast. We have multiple choices. Let us see. Number 1 is 57.6%. For number 2, 7.7%. Well, 7.7% is the least number of the participants. The answer is number 1. I believe you're an expert already. Eco-design refers to designing products to minimize environmental impact and ensure sustainability throughout their entire life cycle. That means minimizing the use of harmful substances, simplifying materials, and extending product life. We also had an eco-design forum yesterday, so hopefully that helped for your answer. Question number 3. Eco-design refers to designing products to minimize environmental impact and ensure sustainability throughout their entire life cycle. How many O and how many X? Lots of X. 89.3%. It's almost 90% answered X or false. That is correct. It can be applied to all products. We have to move on fast. Question number 4. Here it is. System that certifies the use of content of recycled materials throughout the entire supply chain of products is the Recycled Material Certification System. How many O's and how many X's? Almost everyone chose O. Is that answer? That's correct. Name of the system that certifies the use and the content of the recycled materials through document and on-site inspections is called the Recycled Material Certification System. Question number 5 is ready. In 3, 2, 1. Remanufacturing refers to the repair of services of used goods. Is it O or X? 3, 2, 1. It is X is majority, and the answer is X. I can't read all the explanation of the answer, but I believe you have the reason.
Quiz number 6. Be ready. What's the national program implemented to supply consumers with a high-quality manufactured product that meet quality and performance standards? We have 3 multiple choices. Yes, that's it for this question number 6. 1, 2, 3. So, which number did you choose? 25% chose number 1, and the remaining, the percentage chose the choice number 2. Yes, you got it right. The majority got it right. And you can see the explanation on the screen. Yes, now we have question number 7. Be ready for the quiz. Please be ready. It's easy question. How many times has the Circular Economy Festival been held? So I've told you in the opening ceremony. So 1, 2, 1, 3, 4, 5. Yes, did you choose the answer? Let's see. How many of you got it right? 18.5% said that it's the first festival. No, that's not right. I thought it was a very easy question. So, you see, the number is, it's the 5th festival. I've said that it's a 5th Circular Economy Festival. I look forward to your continued interest in this festival. And the question number 8. An economic model that pursues sustainable growth through resource conservation and recycling is called a linear economy. And what's... Sorry? Please give us a time. I think I read it wrong. So that's called the linear economy. So that's the question number 8. So how many of you got it right? Let's see. X. 60% of you chose X. The right answer is yes, it's X. Circular economy is the 1. And quiz number 9. I've read it already, so be ready to give the right answer for this question number 9. So what's the name of the platform that supports demand-supply company matching, provides various circular economy information such as the government policy, industry trends, and technology information? Did you choose? Let's see how many of you got it right. 37 chose 1. So 37% of you think it's a circular economy platform, and 51.9% chose the number 3. So what's the right answer? Yes, it's a number 3. You got, the majority of you got it right. It's the Circular Economy Information Platform. Now we do have a final question. Okay, so let's see. What's the final question? Be ready. Which of the following is not part of 2025, the Circular Economy Festival exhibition zone? Textile zone, carbon neutral zone, remanufacturing zone, digital and electric zone. Seems like all the zones are there for this festival. Yes, carbon neutral zone, 33.5%, and digital The electronic, I think I've introduced it to you. So what's the right answer? Yes, the carbon neutral zone is not there for this festival. And we do also have this shared economic growth zone and the exhibition zone available for you. So we have this festival going on for 3 days. And let's see that who is going to be the winner for this festival. And 28 of you join this quiz. And let's see the ranking. So let's see. So from those of you who ranked 4th to the 20th, Postcode Zhang is ranked, and Song Chae-rim, you were also ranked. Postcode Zhang. Yeah, we will only give the gift to the top 1, 2, 3 winners. So who's going to be the 3rd place winner? Lee Ju-young, congratulations. The speaker of the presentation is going to be the winner, and the 2nd prize winner, Jin-sil, congratulations. And the 1st prize winner, Won Yu-shik. Where are you? Please raise your hand. Congratulations. Won Yu-shik, you seem to be really calm, but your colleague seems to be more happier than you. So we prepared an eco-friendly gift for you as the prize. After all the presentations are done, please go to the information desk on your right to get the prize and get a gift. Make sure that you get the prize on your way out after all the presentations are finished. Thank you. So far we've had a fun answering to the quiz. So we have this presentation of the companies for this session. So the next presenter, let me introduce the next presenter.
이준영
Mr. Lee Jun-young, the CFO of a Green Whale Global. So he will talk about the carbon-reducing material solution that overcomes the physical limitations of a recycled plastic by blending with a proprietary cassava-based TPS. Let's welcome him with a big hand.
My name is Joseph. I'm the CFO of Greenwell Global. I don't know why they told me to introduce our company in English, but I guess I'll proceed. Our company was founded in 2019. Our head office is in Gangnam, Seoul, and our factory is in Vietnam. Our core business, we started off as a company that produces biodegradable and biocompostable resin, so the plastic pellets. But now we've expanded to recycled materials as well as composite materials. Our company was founded by Mr. Yoon, which is in front of you right here, and our CTO, a professor at the University of Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam. And most of the R&D is actually being done in Vietnam. There are many ways to advance R&D and to reduce time. The primary way would be to introduce a lot of human capital, and the second would be to introduce a lot of monetary capital. And we were able to, as a startup, start this company by getting the help of the University of Ho Chi Minh and Professor Nan, and the investments of companies like Hyundai Motor Group, Hanwha Financial, and Hana Financial. As we all know, the global economy is running towards a circular economy, and as such, there are various regulations, but as a startup, we couldn't really wait for the regulations to align with one another. Each country is kind of working their own or going in their own direction. But as a startup, we actually need to start selling and meet the demands of our customers. So we decided to match all those needs and try to essentially mix and match the demands of our customers. Our customers range from companies like Khong Cha in Vietnam. All their products are made with, all their straws are made with our product, as well as Highland. In Korea, we've expanded into the fashion industry, so coat hangers and individually wrapped clothing, as well as cosmetic casings or containers. So, as you know, the need here is to go towards a circular economy, and waiting for the regulations to push a certain industry is kind of risky for a startup like ourselves. So we've decided to solve their problem by reducing the amount of virgin plastic that's introduced in their products. The main benefit that they would have out of our product is reducing carbon emissions, being able to use their existing capex, meaning if they already have a factory, they don't need to invest in molding or additional equipment. They could drop in our resin and use their existing machinery. Our core and essentially differentiation factor is our competitive edge. A lot of people, when they're talking about ESG, the first thing that they think of is how much does it cost for us to implement it? And in essence, the cost has always been the highest barrier of entry of ESG companies to really penetrate the market. Our solution is to price competitively to comparable plastic. So we're selling to companies that traditionally buy at an expensive price and meet their demands intrinsically by reducing the feedstock price of our own materials. And that main material is cassava. You may have had boba tea. Tapioca is another name for cassava. And everybody here that's ever tried soju has intrinsically been eating cassava because soju is made out of cassava. Our product, so basically we're replacing plastic pellets of various different applications, extrusions such as straws, injection molding, film such as plastic bags, blow molding for packaging of cosmetic materials, cosmetic containers, and thermoforming like takeout and one-time use plastics. Our main goal is to, through our branding of Ecoist, be something like Gore-Tex, meaning as soon as you see our product, you'll know that it is eco-friendly. And we have various different grades for different markets. So certain countries require a certain level of recycled material in their finished product. So we have a formulation that would work for their machinery in that sense. The main problem with recycling indefinitely in a circular economy is primarily that there is a material degradation. So each time you recycle, the product itself, the material is not suitable for its original application. So most often it is downgraded to something that is of lesser importance. For example, if you start off with a plastic container, it could end up as a plastic bag and henceforth. So our business model is actually to outsource the production of the product itself to OEM companies. But the pellets we make ourselves and supply those OEMs. Our ultimate goal is to sell our pellets directly to our end users. But as you know, stopping production and testing our material would have cost a lot of companies a lot of money and time and trial and error. So a lot of companies were not able to do so or trust in our company. So we initially launched fashion products and now are doing cosmetic containers. So let me just skip a couple of slides here. Our main application and expansion is to expand globally, hence our name Global, and I think that's why they asked me to introduce our company in English. But we are also able to do various other types of materials. For instance, our investment from Hyundai Motor Group, we're exploring methods of being applied to the automotive industry and doing proof of concepts with them at this moment, as well as various other automotive companies. Last year, we won the CES Award for innovation, and as such, we're able to link with various different global entities. And we're still a startup, and we need a lot of help from various entities. Very recently, we started getting the help of the Sanjabu, but also more recently through our investment from Hanwha, had an investment from the Ministry of Environment of Korea. And ultimately, what we plan to establish is the reduction of carbon emissions by using our product. Given the example of, let's say, a 30% biomass composition with a 30% recycled plastic composition, the end result would be zero virgin plastic, so no new plastic is involved, yet we're able to maintain the material property of the original material and reduce carbon emissions by 60 to 80%. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we'll have the questions from the floor. So if you have questions, please raise your hand. We would love to hand up the microphone. 혹시 질문 있으시면 편안하게 손들어 주시면 저희가 마이크 전달드리도록 하겠습니다. 관련해서 혹시 질문
Regarding the presentation, if anybody has a question, thanks to the presentation by Green Whale Global, anyone has a question? Please feel free to raise your hand. I guess maybe it's because I delivered my presentation in English. Well, we are providing simultaneous interpretation. Anyone has a question? Okay, that's it. Thank you very much. Let's give him another big round of applause. Thank you. So all the companies are working on the transition to the circular economy. That's what we are focusing in this pitching session. And now let's move on to the 11th presentation.
We have CEO Sunmi Seo of Sustainable Lab. And the presentation is titled From What Should Disappear to What Must Remain. Please give CEO Seo a warm round of applause.
I'm the founder of Sustainable Lab, a climate tech company based in Seoul. Today, I want to take you on a journey, Today, I want to take you on a journey, not just into material innovation, but also a new kind of structure. One that doesn't disappear, but stays. One that stores carbon and transforms waste into the value. In Africa rainforest, elephants are the majestic creatures. They are engineering of biodiversity. They trample fast-growing faster-growing trees, creating space for slow-growing carbon storage tree to thrive, they disperse the seeds, they nurture regeneration. But when elephants vanish, the forest loses up to 9% of its stored carbon. Without them, the balance collapsed. Now imagine this. What if humans have done the same in our industrial ecosystems? What if we've removed the very agent that once maintained ecological balance? In 2021, I traveled through Southeast Asia with my 6-month-old son across the coral reefs, volcanoes, and rainforests. I had just become a mother, but I was still an entrepreneur. I wanted to raise my son while building something meaningful. But everywhere we went, I saw plastic in the water, in the soil, on the trees, even in so-called protected land. So we want protecting nature, and we're covering it in plastic. And I realized if I couldn't find a better product for my own child, who would? A better product that's when I realized material matters. We've been told that biodegradable plastics are the answer. They sound great, compostable, plant-based, renewable, but the reality is harsher. Most require industrial composting at over 60 degrees Celsius, which barely exists anywhere. In Korea, we have just 5 facilities, and most of the world cities have none. Even when they degrade, they often leave behind microplastics, and they still emit carbon. So we changed the questions. What if sustainability isn't about disappearing faster, but about leaving behind something better? The question led us to create Terrafin. Terrafin is not just designed to vanish, it's designed to stay and to store. It's made from the byproduct of agriculture, forestry, and even the ocean, just like rice husk and oyster shell. It's microplastic-free and carbon-storing, a material that turns waste into regeneration. This is a version of BioCCUS, bio-based carbon capture, utilization, and storage. Not in some chemical plant, but in every toothbrush, every refill container, every biodegradable kit. Here's how it works. We collect local biomass, rice husk, wood flour, and oyster shells. We dry and grind it. Then we carbonize it at low temperature, just 130 to 170 degrees, that creates frost and stable and carbon particles. We call them peace carbon. We blend those particles with plant-based resin components, then mold them into products using the same molds already used in plastic production. And the carbon, it stays in the structure, in the product, and out of the air. Each product stores a real carbon. Our lab partners verified that Terrafin WC, our wood-based line, stores up to 0.949 kilograms equivalent per kilograms. A toothbrush stores 8 kilograms, a tree plant 1.21 kilograms, a single flower pot equals a young tree's carbon. This is not just a symbolic carbon, it's physical, it's structure. Terrafin was designed to fit existing system, low temperature processing, moldable with standard plastics infrastructure, local materials. The structure remains and the story becomes visible. Terrafin is not just one of the materials, it's a platform. wood, which is WCSH, shell, and rice husk, each optimized for specific industries. To us, this is more than materials science. And those are our recent POC products upcycled by burned wood and also oyster shells and also rice husk. In Terrafin, the technology is not a tool, it's a system that starts with waste and it ends in carbon, behavior, and biodiversity. Let's talk about the numbers. Up to 0.949 kilograms of carbon stores per kilograms of material, microplastic free, verified by Korea Conformity Laboratories, Scope 3 compliant for ESG reporting, EU CBAM aligned for carbon accounting. We don't just promise change, we submit the documents. So these are our biomass materials that we are using for Terrafin. Compared to PLA and PBAT and WC, Terrafin is a carbon storing, not emitting, microplastic free, and compost independent, a circular structure, not a single-use fix. We don't sell commodities. We build regenerative flows where materials, message, and market align. From forest to city, and from farmer to designer, from waste to worth. And we call this structure is BaaS, which is a byproduct as a service. So this is how we work the process. So Terrafin is the technology, and REIT3, which is the POC product, is the social behavior, and Eden, which is our brand, beauty and personal brand, Eden, is the user experience. Together, they form a system which is measurable, actionable, and repeatable. Our application includes toothbrushes and refills and hotel amenities and beauty containers and in the sooner future, food packaging and educational tree kits, each designed to store carbon and single change. We are not working alone. With Hyundai Construction, we are prototyped the hotel amenities line, and in Korea, we joined public procurement channel. In France, we are piloting with eco retails and five-star hotels for F&B plate. In Bhutan, we are exploring local products using rice husk and palm waste. It's not just export. It's localization with purpose. The European market is shifting. CBAM is coming in 2006. ESG disclosures are tightening, and greenwashing is being punished. Buyers and policymakers need proof, not promise. So we localize, we license, we help countries turn their own waste into measurable impact and jobs and carbon savings, emotional connection through material story. Every product can become a forest. A toothbrush can be a tree, a user, a steward, a brand, a living system. Just like elephants who reshape the forest by clearing the fast to let the deep take root, we too much reshape our material economy. Terrafin doesn't disappear. It remains. It teaches us to leave better marks. Because sustainability fails when it's cosmetic. Terrafin is not a path, it's a platform. It doesn't depend on idea disposal or imagination. It is embedded, repeatable, and regenerative. It's a structure, and structure is what stays. We are now looking for collaborators and partners and pioneers to realize Terrafin in your industry, in your product, and your region, using our biomass to license our technology across package, hotels and education and retail to deliver real Scope 3 climate action and emotional connection. Our system is real, and let's sit down and design the next forest together. Thank you.
Thank you to share with us, valuable information from your company. Any other participants to have questions? 혹시 질문 있으실까요?
Any questions for the presentation? Yes. In the afternoon, I think you probably just want to have no questions. So right after this session, you may have more time for the networking and asking questions. So that's it for this presentation. Please give her another round of applause. Thank you. So that was CEO Son Mi-seo of Sustainable Lab. So now let me invite the 12th speaker.
PLM
Project leader Shin Yong-jun from SK Chemical will present under the topic of a chemical recycle PET and sustainable solution. Let's welcome him with a big hand.
네, 안녕하세요.
Good afternoon, everyone. I will talk about something in chemicals, so I will deliver my speech in Korean. I am the PET researcher at SK Chemical. My name is Shin Yong-jun. I will talk about what we are researching regarding chemical recycle PET and the sustainable solutions. Let me briefly talk about my company. SK Chemical is a polyester expert, you can imagine. And in polyester, we've played our role over 50 years. And by using recycling technologies, a sustainable solution is are paying attention to polyester. And this is the history of SK Chemical. In 1969, we established as a Sungyong Textiles. And we introduced the PET business in 1978, and in 1988 we expanded our business into TAP and the DMT. And Ecozen was launched in 2009. In 2019, polyester was firstly introduced to our business, and in 2021 and 22, we expanded our polyester business, and in Sue in China, we acquired a company for the aggressive expansion of recycling. So SK Chemical is a polyester expert as Asia #1 and Asia's global #2, while selling recycling materials. And by developing chemical solutions, sustainable material is another area we want to expand. Biopolymer is a 100% sustainable material, and that's something we are working on. And we have network in each continent. As we touched upon the polyester, and we always have some concerns, as you are aware, it never gets rotten, or either it takes forever to get it disposed. So SK Chemical obviously has a responsibility for that, and in fact, for recycling polyester, we've conducted our R&D for over 2 decades. And thanks to that effort, commercialization was partially available right now. As you're well aware, ESG is something that we are working really hard on. And if you look at the our achievement, MSCI gave us AA, and DJSI, they included us on Korean index, and we are A- according to CDP, and we are rolling out all our ESG-related strategies. Then regarding recycling solutions, I will introduce some of the solutions we have. There are 2 types of a polyester recycling. First one is a chemical, and the other one is mechanical. Mechanical is applied to clear bottle, and after you depose clear bottle and clean wash and the restock, and then after that we make it flat and we can use that recycled material. It is very efficient. However, mechanical recycling has some downsides as well. We do not have any technologies to eliminate foreign substances in the course of washing. So PET polymer is divided into smaller and mid-sized pieces, and through multiple processes, and it became purified. And then we go through the chemical process. So virgin plastic has a very similar characteristics than this result of the process. So therefore, we recreate the material, and then after use of that product, and we depose that product, and we repeated this cycle. For chemical solutions, it is not only limited to clear bottles. Crowd bottles, fiber are the areas we can expand to. So for chemical recycling, you can think of 3 different areas. Polymer is heated, which is a pyrolysis, and the methanol will be used for the decompose, and then polyester, it will be disposed by glycolysis. And for polymer PET, pyrolysis, bring the product back to petrochemical products. And for metrolysis, it doesn't go all the way back to the origin, but glycolysis can bring the product back to intermediate stage. So that's usually used, and the glycolysis has a less carbon emission compared to pyrolysis. So this is just a diagram in chemical context. You can see polyester in the middle. And if you use methanol, GMT is created. If we use glycolysis, BHT is provided. And as you can see, if you compare PET and DMT, it's quite similar. So in DHT, we can go back to the PET stage. That means that it's eco-friendly. So even within this depolymerization, glycolysis is an ideal among all the 3. So SK Chemical, has SkyPass seal, and if you ever ask what's the benefit of a SkyPass seal, you can see the 5 different colors. You can see the second one, that's the preform made by SK's CRPT. And the next one is a version PT. And the rest 3 is a preform of the MRPET. As you can see, CR-PET by SK Chemical is very similar to virgin PET. Compared to MR-PET on the right side, their quality doesn't look great. And if you look at the bottom, if we create a preform, you usually add heat, and with the similar conditions, different circumstances happen. On the right, you can see MR-PET with the mechanical recycling. You can see some impurities. That means that impurities here happened here and there. Compared to MR-PET, CR-PET and the virgin PET has a different patterns. They are together have a similar symptoms. CR-PET is by SK, and that's very similar to the process of a virgin PET. Then what can we eventually realize? As you can see the diagram, the PET can be recycled, coated, shredded, and then depolymerized, and then we can create new product. And this is the one cycle of a circular economy. And once we introduce this circular recycling system, we can contribute to the circular economy. This is what we do at SK Chemical. On the left side, you can see the PET products. They're all shredded, and then it became like a particle level, and it goes through the purification, and then it will become a BHET. It looks very white, and it is actually clean. And after purifying, we can go through repolymerization. And then after that, we can create amorphous PET or APET, or depending on the purpose of use, longer polymer needs to be created, and the solid state polymerization kicks in at that time. And the density of IV increases, and we can create 3 grades. For SK Chemicals PET, we can create all these 3. We label them SB, BB, and BL. What is SB? It is a homopolymer. It is for super bright fiber, films, and EP compounds. And then if we increase the volume of SB, it will become BB. That can be used for a hot-filled bottle
산업용 그 섬유
or high tonicity yarn or EP compounds. BL is mostly used for beverage bottles and the thin sheet. And the Sky PET can be a alternative for the virgin PET because the quality is almost the same. Let's look at the actual applications. Hot fill bottle, you can see aloe vera juice, and then premium bottles can be offered in like a makgeolli bottle or like any sauce bottles, and the fiber can produce a apparel, and also the headliner of a skin layer of the car. Tire coat can use, and also film can apply this technology. And these are actual example in real life. This is the company we acquired in Santo, China. And here we can do the depolymerization and the repolymerization, and they're both available in these facilities. And not only the PET business, polyester business is also available at the SK, and chemical recycling is also applied to this business. And this is the entire application from cosmetic packaging to the luxury bottle of a cosmetic, and the luxury bottle sheet film is also one application, especially for medical purposes, and the films are available to implement our technology. In consumer goods, you can see various food containers and the food box or utility box or trade. And in fashion, it can be also used to create some fiber and the textile, and we can offer various solutions. So by chemical recycling, we can contribute to global circular economy by SK Chemicals. That wraps up my presentation. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Shin. Anybody has a question, please raise your hand. There's one person. Please hand over the microphone to the person with a question. Good afternoon. I have two questions. Number one, carbon reduction, I got it. Does it include the energy consumption? Yes. We calculated and included in that carbon reduction. We haven't had the statistics in figures because it's been less than a year since we operated the factory, but the whole cycle is included into the calculation. All the materials, like any other companies, recycling businesses are eco-friendly but not really economically feasible, meaning that the quality of the product itself is great, but the economic feasibility is not really great. It's a flip side of the coin. Thank you very much for your frank answer. Anyone else has the question? I guess we can wrap up by this point. Let's give him another big round of applause for his wonderful presentation. That was Mr. Shin Yong-jun from SK Chemicals to introduce another great technology we can see. And now we have the very last presentation, and under the topic of the global pioneer in the sustainable upcycling solutions by Mr. Kim Hong from Kukje Refratech. Let's give him a big round of applause.
Good afternoon. So how we can add value and the waste into something valuable, and that's going to be the main topic of my presentation. And I'm Director Kim Hong of Kukje Replastic. And our vision is this that I just mentioned, that we want to make waste into something valuable. So back in 1994, we were established, so it's been 31 years, and our revenue, it's about 6 billion Korean won per year, and we have about 25 employees. And we have operating income of the $700,000. So PP. So for the PP, we make the recycled, we manufacture product, and we also use pulp to make plat. So we make this recycled products, and PE and PPs are used to make the magic floor and the throwable fire extinguishers and mattress and pads. And diapers, when we use diapers, there are some defects, and the pulp are extracted from that defect diapers to make the pet pads. And that's also one of our business. And PE and PPs are used to make the pet leash or pet shoes. So these are the businesses that we do. 국제 would like to make waste into something worthwhile. So that's the vision that we have. And for our customers and for our employees and for our shareholders and for the society, we do this work. And we would like to take the initiative with a spirit of challenge taking and with the smart and the respect-based mindset, we do our business. 국제 was established as a 국제리본드 in Pyeongtaek in 1994. And in 2009, 국제 Ripratek was newly established in Cheonan as a pulp recycler. And recycling plants were established back then, and we were certified. And in 2020, that we started the production of a 국제 Mangmang pad and as 국제 healthcare. And automated production systems were introduced back in 2022, and since last year, mass production has been initiated. And this is the domestic distribution channels. So to auction, Coupang, Gmarket, Danawa, Pet Friends. These are the channels that we use, the retail platforms. And we also have a global, the platforms like Amazon, TikTok, and eBay. So in the future, we do have this new business model. Used pet pads and diapers are going to be used to make something valuable. So we established this composting system for recycling used pet pads. It's for reducing the carbon emissions, and it's also for building the resource recirculation. So we build this integrated the B2B, B2G, and B2C collection and recycling system. And this is going to be done through the private and public partnership. And hygiene and economic feasibility and environmental sustainability all need to be considered when doing this business. And we, I believe, can do a business that can be a leading example for the many others.
If you look at the recycling processes, first we do the separation and the collection of the source. So the used pad are usually discarded as a waste, but we started from the source collection and separation with the help of the local governments, and that is our idea. And then with the concealed vehicle, we can do the transportation, and then we do the pre-treatment, and then after that we go through the material sorting and separation, and we finally do the recycling and upcycling. For business models, collection can be done on top of the AI platform, and the reward-based subscription model can be an idea. And for profit or revenue structure, PE or recycled pulp can be think of as a part of the product sales, or collection and processing can utilize a B2B and B2G contract with the help of a local government. And also in the course of that, we can think of a carbon credits like a reduction certification, and then carbon trading can be also part of the revenue structure. Obviously, used pads need a certain and firm government support and legislative foundation. We need to review extended producer responsibility, or EPR, and also we have to think of some sort of environmental charge system. Any taxation, any support or subsidy for R&D, and used pad or any used materials can be recycled with the help of the government and the improved awareness of the general public. We think of the size of the market. There are about 2 billion disposable diapers used annually in Korea. Almost nothing is recycled. Maybe we can think of the $700 million of the pet pad market. And we can think of the 40% of a reduction in incineration cost, contributing to lower social expenditure. And also we can come up with the revenue from recycled materials. If it's possible, I believe 3.8 billion Korean won should be invested for the recycling facilities to create more revenue. Maybe 300 million for transportation, 1.5 billion for entire facility, and the environment-related investment is needed, which will be amounted to about 1.5 billion. So that way we can fully equip such facilities to recycle the used pads. All in all, with the used pads, we can create the circular economy factor from this pad business while pursuing the ESG goals. And I guarantee it's possible to realize. So we want to focus on 5 areas, like number 1, used pad processing, and pet diapers, and fermented compost, pellet by utilizing post-use pet pads, and also recycling consulting. These are the areas that we have vision by 2030 as a business expansion. That wraps up my presentation from Kukje Pratek. Thank you very much. Thank you, Director. Anyone has questions about Kukje Pratek's presentation? This was the very last presentation. Anyone else? Or any companies about Kukje, any information about Repratek? People are digesting a lot of information. Let's give him another big round of applause for his wonderful presentation. Thank you. Thank you very much to stay all the way till the end to wrap up all the pitching session as a part of the Korea Circular Economy Festival. And through this opportunity, I believe that we shared various information. Also, hopefully this is helpful to develop a new project. Hopefully, please keep that in mind with all information you learned today, and we urge you with the support and the interest. And in room 501, we continue the industrial session. We collaborated with the EU. An Eco Design Forum was held yesterday, and then we have other sessions about standardization. You can join room 501 for further session. And also those who are invited, Eco Design Forum between Korea and the EU will be held tonight. Lu West Hall on the 4th floor is where you need to go for the network dinner banquet. For further information, please visit the reception desk. And also, don't forget to collect your gifts from the quiz show. Just outside the conference room, we have the desk to give you the prize. Thank you very much for your participation. And that's it for the festival today. See you next time. Thank you.